So Westlaw.ie, WestlawUK, they are very, very similar. So I'm going to use Westlaw.ie for the examples. We look for case law and we're going to look for articles also as well. WestlawUK looks almost the same. So if you know Westlaw.ie, you're going to know WestlawUK. Just the content is a little bit different. Justice 1 is the other one I'm going to look at. It is case law legislation. You're not going to get the articles there, but it fits. It joins the information together very well in a really good visual way. So we'll look at that. We'll look at the same material in one database and another and see how they present it. You'll find your own way around it. Really, it is learning by doing is the best way with this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at Westlaw.ie, as I said, and we're going to see if we can find some of the ebooks. So let's press my Alt under my Tab key, and we're going to go to the Moodle page, library page on Moodle. Come down here. We're going to go into our databases and online resources tab here, and click on Law, and here we are. Okay, so we're going to go straight into Westlaw.ie here. There's a little bit of information here for you about what information is here for you. It's also a little bit of a hint here about how to find the ebooks. We're just going to log in here. Just going to get going on it. So if you see up here, okay, you can limit your searches. We could search within all of Westlaw here. But to be honest, I think it's best if you go up here and use these settings where you can. So if you click on the books, what the choices that will be offered to you are the books that we subscribe to. At the top here, okay. So it's these ones here as opposed to these grayed out ones. Okay. Remember, there we are. There's clock. So it's not very pretty, but sure, you can get all the information you need from it. Okay. So that's fairly straightforward there. Finding books on Westlaw.ie. Next, I want to look at finding case law in IE. All right, Westlaw.ie. So let's have a look at this. We're going to use this as an example here. Okay, but if you just look at every citation you get, this will become second nature after a while. But you get the case name, it's at the top there, the year, the volume and where it is reported, and the page number there. All of those things, or a combination of some of those things, can lead you to what you need. Okay, so we're going to have a look for this case here now in Westlaw.ie. So I'll go to my cases tab here. Okay. It's usually best. You can always search by citation straight through, even on the front page. But I really genuinely think, remember I was saying, if you use the advanced tabs, there's an awful lot of archiving work going on behind that. That's going to help you find what you need. So do get in the habit of using these when you're in these databases. Okay. Okay. Now there's a couple of ways I can search for this thing. One is I can search by the party name. So I'm going to put this in here. Okay. That's the phone. That's what I gave you. That's what I was given. Okay. Are we going to find it from this? I'll just click on search. Okay. So we have this here, but this isn't exactly it, is it? Okay. What I was looking for was 2015 and I wanted something in ILRM. So that's not it. I wonder why that didn't work. So you go back. Okay. So we know it's in here. Okay. I kind of deliberately showed you something that was a little confusing at first. Okay. I'm going to say, okay, I have my citation here. Just going to type this in here, 215. This is quite forgiving, actually. I don't need to put all the punctuations in here. Just once I have all the information here in the correct order, that'll find it for me. Okay, so let's just see if we get on there. Search. And there it is, 2015. Here, page number. Now, the reason we didn't see that is because I had NAMA written down. That's how I got it in the first place. But within here, it was put down as National Asset Management Agency. So just be aware, you'll be given citations. You might need to have just a little bit of a fiddle around, but between the information you've been given, your case, the party names, and your citation, you'll be able to work it out. Okay, I'll just click in here just to show you a little more. Okay, so just have a look in this here now, because we're going to look at this somewhere else later. I just want you to see how it's presented here. Okay, cases referred to. Look all the way down. Okay, all here. So you could also browse if you wanted to as well, if you were looking for something. So ILRM, Irish Law Reports Monthly, I could have just browsed in that way as well. if I don't want to just. So there's always a few different ways to get to where you want to. You will usually have all the information or some of it. There could be typing errors in it, whatever that might be. I'm going to volume 2, Control 5. There you go. Okay, there's different ways into finding it. Okay, you should have the information there. Okay, so that is looking at cases in Westlaw.ie. That's just one little exercise there. Now I want to have a look for articles on WestlawIE, and that could be great when you're trying to do some reading around a particular subject. So here we go. Okay, so we can search around in here for what we're looking for. Again, you can use the advanced search here, or you can browse to what you're looking for. I have a few examples here that I'm going to ask you to have a look at. If you have a look at your PowerPoint slides, there's 3 of them here. Okay, I won't do them all because that's a repetition that maybe I don't want you to be looking at just while I'm doing it. I'm just going to give you an example, and you might, if you've a chance, if you want to, you can have a look for some of the other ones here as well, just as an exercise. So I have the title, Civil Partnership in an Ireland of Equal Rights Marriage Rights. I could search by the title if I wanted to. Okay, there you go. Anyway, we have it there, full text article. So there's other ways I could have found that. I could have put in the author either. I could have searched by that. Again, you can browse. I just would like to draw your attention to down here, okay? Full text articles is really what we're hoping to be finding. If I click on that, no matter what I'm looking for, there's Barry there, for example, I will be able to find it in the full text no matter what I'm looking for. We'll see it there. However, what I would say to you is just be aware that sometimes you will be looking for something in here and you won't get access to everything. A publication that you might be interested in just might be abstracted, so it just might have a description of the article. It could be just indexed, so it could have the citation in there. If you're looking for something and you can't find it in the databases, ask the library. Okay, so we'll either give you an idea about where you might be able to find it, or if you can't, if it's behind a paywall, difficult to get for you, we can get it ourselves and email it on to you. Okay. But for the purposes of your research, try looking the full text first, because the sooner you can get something in full text, the quicker you can use it for your assignments. So as I say, if you want to have a look at these as well, if you want to try them, have a look at the PowerPoint slides, see how you get on with those. But just for the minute now, I just want to draw your attention to the idea of the subject and keyword searching as well. Sometimes you're just researching a particular topic and you haven't been given something that you're particularly looking for, and you just want to get a general overview, get a feel for that topic. You can do a keyword search here. So I'm just going to use, as an example, offer and acceptance. Okay. So I'm going to come down here to my subject keyword. I find it. Offer and there you go. The nice thing about this is that it kind of gives you prompts for what are considered search terms. I just really want to draw your attention to this bit though. Okay, you see the way it's automatically done them in italics. It's a great way of training you. Actually, use these keywords, get into the idea of enclosing things in your inverted commas. And the reason being, if I didn't have them there, if I just did offer and acceptance, it would look for offer, the word offer, the word and the word acceptance, anywhere in the entirety of that, it would look them separately, okay? Whereas what you want is that combination, because you want to kind of get quite a targeted search. So in general, when you're searching anywhere, even if you're doing Google Scholar later, wherever it might be, do consider that if you want a phrase or to group keywords together, enclose them like that. So we'll look, see what we can find. Okay, there's 19 there. So okay, that is literally just a way just to let you know that that's a way that you can search in here. Okay, so we've looked at books, we've looked at cases, we've looked at journals. You can also do legislation as well. I'm also actually going to show you some other places to find that in a moment. What I prefer to move on to now is I'd like to look at looking at Justice 1, which is a fabulous resource. So you can get Irish and UK case law here as well, digests, and it really helps you. You can really kind of drill down and see the connections between things here. So it's a really handy one to get used to. Just for the sake of showing the differences between these two databases, I'm not saying don't use Westlaw.ie. Not all the content is the same in these, but we're just going to have a look at this very same report, and we're going to see how they present it in Justice 1. So I'm going to go back to my legal databases in law, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go to Justice 1. And I'm going to click on that here. There's some information on it there. So let's try and do that search again and see how it looks in here. Okay, there we go. It's up at the top. You notice there it actually had, I think I actually just put it in, yeah, it just said NAMA in there. So it was more forgiving about the party names. So if you're in here, you can also see it really flags it really nicely that what jurisdiction is. There's Irish, the court. Okay, so here's the general overview. Okay, you can also look at cited cases or legislation in it. Citing cases, so that can be really useful. You can download it for later if you like. I'm just going to go to the overview again. Another nice feature about Justice is this here, the precedent map. Some people find it's very useful if you're a visual person. I just think it's very useful really to anyone. It kind of helps you see the connections between things. Okay, so you can limit it by positive, neutral, or negative, and you can also so it'll bring you to those cases as well if you want to follow along. So it helps you make connections between things as well. Okay, so that is a really handy and useful feature in Justice 1. As I say, Westlaw.ie has a lot of other material in it, and you won't get any articles in here either. So the other example is the Shreds v Data Protection Commissioner. I have that there in the PowerPoint notes. I'm going to use part of the citation to find this as well. See, will that help me? Let's assume I took it down wrong and I wasn't sure about what the spellings were. Let's have a look here. Let's go into the advanced search and see if that'll help us. Okay, go in here. I don't want to look through everything. I know this is a case I'm looking for, so narrow it down if you can. If you want to search by citation, so that's a snippet of citation that I have handy. Let's just say I don't have the rest of it. That's enough to find it for me there. I suppose I just kind of want to get across to you that there are, I could show you the exact ways of doing it if you have everything, but I just want to make the point that if you have bits of different information, because sometimes you're taking things down at high speed or you receive the information not exactly correctly, you can usually find a way around it now in these databases. They're quite forgiving if you just stick at it. So what I would suggest is just at this point in time, just experiment. Okay, you can hone your skills down later. Just have a sort of a wander around and get a feel for it. And you can always get more support later in class, or also as well the library is there to help you as well. So maybe just as a little exercise, maybe just try that. Just try narrowing down so you're only looking for case law in Justice here. For Irish case law, you just want to search for that. Okay, so the Irish Statute Book, that is an extremely useful resource for you. Okay, so you can get up-to-date legislation, access, so on and so forth. I have it all written here. Okay, the big parts of it is you can track amendments to Irish legislations, very well in it as well. So let's just try a couple of searches in here. Okay, first off, I'm just going to look at the Misuse of Drugs Act 1977. It is, so let's just try it. You can go to irishstatutebook.ie, but if you come down here, remember in your legal databases at the end, useful websites, okay, the Irish Statute Book. These are openly and freely available. You don't need passwords from them, but they're here because they're recommended by your faculty, so we just put them here so that you can get easy access to them. Okay, so let's do our search. Okay, year 1977. It's legislation. No, it's actually an act I'm going to look at. Yes. Okay. So the reason I'm showing you this one is, for example, okay, you can have a look down here. Okay. However, up the top here is actually what I want to draw your attention to. Okay, so this is a revised. So if you have a question mark over here. So this will give us a link to the revised act. It's produced by the Law Reform Commission, so it'll probably bring us out to the Law Reform Commission site. Yes, it does. And here you go. Okay, so that is definitely something to be aware of, is to be looking at if there's any revisions in anything that you are looking at. But there's various ways of doing that. So our statute book offers a very easy way for you to have a look at that, okay? Just to remind you that, remember I said that you could also find some of this material in Justice 1. You know, when I look to the Misuse of Drugs Act, that's a nice one. Okay, so you're always going to be working between them all. Okay, it's not really a straight line when you come to legal research using these databases. There's so much here for you, but it becomes more intuitive as you go. I do want to show you this other really handy little thing though before I finish up. I really like this resource here. It's a Cardiff Index to Legal Abbreviations. Often when you're trying to particularly when you're getting started, you're trying to work out what the abbreviations and the citations means and what jurisdictions they're in. This is really handy and it will help direct you if you look what database you're looking at. If it's UK, Irish, EU or something like that. Let me show you what I mean. There is a link to it here. Yes, Cardiff Index of Legal Abbreviations on that handy page for the useful websites, okay? Let's just say I have got QB. I see QB in one of my citations. I have no idea what that is. It is Queen's Bench. Okay, Law Reports, England and Wales. Okay, or so let me look at DULJ. You might come across that. That shows you what it is. Dublin University Law Journal. It's Ireland, so you know it's a journal for a start. You know what the jurisdiction is. So you'll find that on Westlaw.ie. ILRM. Irish Law Reports Monthly, Ireland. Okay, so that's really handy. Again, I'd look for I could look in a couple of places for these things, but it gives you an idea. Once you know the jurisdiction for them, it certainly helps narrow it down for you. So I've given away some of them. I've literally just done them. Okay, DULJ, what's the stand for ILT? And throw in a couple of things in there as you go along with your assignments, as you come across some of those citations. If you're not sure, just throw them in there. And I guarantee you, it'll be helpful to you.